6, 5, 4. Oh, God.
All right, I think we're good to go here. All right, we are here. Hello, everybody. We're here for Deep Space Nine at 9-ish, Season 2, Episode 12, The Alternate. We're here to talk about all things Odo. I don't care if you aren't, because we are. And we're here with a bunch of good guests here to talk about Deep Space
Just
Nine.
good.
We do it. Excellent guests, really great, tremendous. The best. People are saying the best.
People are saying it.
Except I don't know about the voice changing, but we're gonna have to work on that. Okay, over to Dave Mater. Welcome. What do you think about the episode?
The voice changing is a big hit out there in the comments, I think. We'll see. I thought this episode was great.
Jody has to say. He'll probably watch this.
There was a lot of good things with this episode, and I'm excited to talk about it tonight. I think it was a good character build for Odo, and for the crew, and I think for maybe the better, because the mystery of Odo is so important to this show.
Yes, for sure. Over to Kevin and Ashley. Just quick synopsis of what you feel about this episode. Do you feel like it's a good episode? Do you think it stands out? Would you go back and rewatch it ever? Are you good? You got what you wanted out of it? Do you like it?
I like it. I like Dr. Mora, and I like that this episode kind of establishes Odo as more of a child than a grown old man like he seems.
Ashley?
I like the episode. It's got intrigue and a little bit of scary scenes. It's got lots of goo. It's good. I like it.
Okay, Jaemeel. Is it interesting? Is the goo compelling to you?
I hated this episode with a burning passion. Right?
Why did you hate it?
I hated it. I didn't like the doctor. I was bored. I got mad when I woke up a couple of times during this episode, and I had to rewind it and watch it again. I hated this episode. I thought I disliked previous episodes. I didn't realize how much I could hate an episode like this episode.
Are you going to upgrade some of your previous ratings just based on how much you
No, this one's just going to be, guys are going to call me the anchor this episode, because I'm going to drag this down.
Your own average is about to go down.
Okay. So, all right, we got contrasting opinions. Okay, Kevin Ashley liked it. Dave, I kind of liked it, liked the Oda stuff, but didn't really get into why he liked it, other than why is it good, Dave? Why is Jaemeel wrong?
I like this episode because I think that the relationship between Dr. Mora Pell, right? That's how that's the full name, and Odo is important to the show. I think it's important to the character of Odo, and I think it's compelling. I think it's an interesting take on adoption in a way, but it's also kind of a weird, messed up relationship, and it's not really like anything else because of the nature of who Odo is and how they met and everything else that kind of plays out in this episode. And then we do get the return to this relationship in a later episode that's extremely, I think, a really great episode of Deep Space Nine, which we won't get to talk about for a couple of years probably, but it's a kind of a sequel to this, and this is a good setup. I think if you look at this in a vacuum, it's not as good, for sure. I think it's, Odo catches kind of a disease and he lashes out at his sort of surrogate father figure. And that's kind of it. Right. And Dax's hair. What's going on with Dax's hair? I don't understand.
Okay. All right. There's two things that I want to touch on what you just mentioned. One is Dax is acting really weird in this episode. Did anyone feel that way? Like, I thought, like, there was moments in the episode where I thought she was like changed by the gas or whatever that happens on the planet. We'll get to that, but I thought she was acting really weird. I don't know why. Like, maybe I was just stoned.
So we know that if this was an Enterprise episode, it would be like Dax gets sexy with the gas B plot. That
would be the Enterprise plot. Yeah.
Right.
It would just fit right in.
Did you love the moment at Kevin and Ashley when Dax was like, "Hey, want to get some Ractigino?" And then like Bashir's like, "My place, yeah, my that wasn't that a great line?
He was just
Your
like,
replicator
no.
or mine?"
Promenade,
Yeah.
public,
Yeah.
clothes on, pervert.
It must be so discouraging for Bashir because Dax is so horny. She would fuck mourn. But a charming, young, handsome doctor that, yes, is a little dweebish.
How do you read it? Like, that's my question. Is it that Dax is like, hey, I just want to be friends, and you need to give this up, and he can't take a hint, or is it that there is sort of this chase pursuit thing that she kind of likes?
That's what he says in the episode.
That's what he says. But what's the reality? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I think she does kind of like just toying with him. I don't think she likes him like coming after like.
I don't find that she toys with him though.
No. But like in the moments where like he says something like that, where I think I don't think she dislikes it. I don't think she's like, "Whoa, back off." I think it's more like, "Okay, Bashir, you're cute." I don't think she like looks at it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, depending on how you want to look at this, it's either an indictment of the Julian Bashir character or it's not, and so I think it's an important distinction, I think, in just that aspect, but I don't know if we'll ever really know. Now, hey, I just want to say something that there's big news here on this podcast before we go any further. Ashley Millard, you got to the end of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, right?
Yes.
You finally
You
saw the end of the paw race.
Paw race. You got to the end. Okay, that means we are we can do anything on spoilers
all
now.
Spoilers.
All the spoilers.
I know all of it.
For a show that ended 21 years ago.
Yes.
It's now spoiler free. So let the good times roll. Here, let's play some kind of I don't have a good sound to play.
Okay, I have a question about this episode, and I can't wait for you, Dave. You're taking a while. I have a question. Okay, so when they go to the planet in the Gamma Quadrant, okay, with the Dr. Mora and it's Odo and I think Kira's with them. No, it's Dax. Sorry, Dax is with them, and then there's another Bajorga. Dax beams the big pillar, which I was like, why? Why didn't you just take a picture of it and then discern what the hieroglyphs meant? Like, why did they need to beam the whole obelisk out of there? Once the obelisk was beamed out of there, the whole planet started going haywire. They were never like, hey, maybe we should put that obelisk back. They never thought that. They never say it. They never bring it up.
Couldn't they scan it and like make a 3-dimensional like exact replica in like a holosuite or like it like on a computer image? Like, no, let's just take the entire thing. Let's disturb everything because I'm too lazy. It seems.
And then once they disturbed it, the planet literally like went like Armageddon, and they were like, okay, let's just leave. Like, we got it. That was a close one, Like, they were never like, let's put it back. They were never like, why did we do that? Was it worth it? They never even talk about it. Like, for those reasons, I can kind of understand where Jameel's coming from, because like the episode is like so focused on the stepfather type weird relationship between Morapel and Odo.
Were people not annoyed by the way Dr. Mora talked? Like the same, Odo, well, you, like he talked in like a heightened whisper, and it was like, it's like, I never thought you would, acclimate so well, and you're showing me your friend. He seems very interested in your situation. He had just this way of talking that just annoyed me every time he opened his mouth, and he talked a lot throughout this episode, a lot.
Well, I know the way he talks. I don't dislike it, so it's not as an issue for me. But the other,
I don't dislike it either.
I'm on top now. Ha ha ha.
when you're on top like that,
Mhm.
because the way you have the entire area sized, it makes your head look so super small.
I don't even have to make a face, right? Wait, no, Jeff should be on top here. Wait, now you're big. All right. Wait, where's Jaemeel going? Is he getting a pizza?
he's like, fuck
Yeah,
this
he's getting
shit.
his pizza.
I'm done with this. Dave's just playing with the camera. I'm out. I don't even like this episode.
But how did we feel about Chief O'Brien's random bitching about his wife in the Jeffries tube for no reason?
That seemed pretty authentic.
Jeff doesn't have sound.
I personally felt about it that I question the Keiko O'Brien relationship marriage often
There you go.
throughout the show.
There you
Still can't hear you, Jeff. Oh,
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, I heard him.
you did.
I think so.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone now.
He's gone now. You can't hear him.
It just seemed super out of place and was kind of weird. And then he got gooed on, which was fun.
The goo. Yeah, but it was a harmless goo. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hear me now?
There.
I'm
Yes.
getting dizzy.
Continue, Jeff. How did you feel about the Keiko O'Brien stuff?
Yeah, that was good. It was a good human moment. He was literally crawling on his knees toward. He couldn't describe the sound, but it did sound like just gnarly. Like it sounded not good. So, he was like, "Oh,
Gnarly is the word you use.
I used the word gnarly."
I might die right now, so I'm going to spend my last breaths complaining about my wife.
That's what being married is all about.
Why was O'Brien not allowed to? Why was nobody there to sort of watch his back in that situation?
I don't
Because
know.
security, have you seen what happens with security on Deep Space Nine? They're not the best.
Also, O'Brien doesn't need fucking anybody to watch his
No.
back. He's the most important man in Starfleet history.
Starfleet history. Okay, so Jeff, just on this episode though, it starts off with Quark selling these desiccated remains.
Mhm.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I thought it was good. Again, Quark and Odo, they just keep going back to the same well. Like they just keep going back to like these moments, and they're good. They're good, but
They're numerous.
they keep coming at the beginning of episodes too. And again, it's an Odo episode, but Quark's really not involved much of the rest of the episode. He's really just at the beginning.
No.
Which is a fun moment, and I guess they kind of wanted to give Odo a lighter moment before he gets into all like the serious stuff that this episode is doing.
Desiccated remains and stuff come up later too. Like it builds out the Ferengi a little bit more as well.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna get you in the episode this week, Armin. You're just gonna have a quick scene with Renee. And the rest of the episode's about something else, and then you're not there, so don't worry. You'll be able to go do whatever you're doing. But you're right. They kept coming back to this well, and I feel like they wrote like 100 Odo Quark sketches, and they're like, we'll just throw one. This is how we'll start every episode, and then it will turn into this. Especially if it's an Odo episode, or especially if it's a Quark episode.
Mhm.
It will be this scene where Odo's just effing with Quark, right? Like, just for the hell of it, because he knows he's running this whole thing with selling a disc and why Ferengis would want to buy that. I get why they want to sell it, but I don't know why they want to buy it so much, unless they think it would be valuable to other people. I guess that would be the only reason to do such a thing, that they think they could resell it later.
It probably would be able to. It's probably goes up in value for
Depending on who it is.
prominent Ferengi.
So you die, you get chopped up into little pieces, and then you get vacuum packed into like a little box, right?
Yep.
And then there's limited amount of you.
Yes.
Yes. That's always true
It's
though,
limited
even
edition.
before.
It's limited edition, Jeff.
Yes.
Oh no! What do you? You can do something with your sound effects now.
What did you hear?
How do you do that?
I got a program. And I want to talk about Pizza Time.
Giggles are great.
So this is what happens. This is what happens when I leave. Funny voices.
No, yeah. The whole thing. This has been a farce since you went.
Look,
Yeah,
okay.
well, we are
This
talking about
episode is the burnt pizza of episodes, just like my burnt pizza. Okay.
Just like the burnt pizza.
how burnt.
I put some extra sauce to make it edible.
Okay. All right.
Extra sauce.
Extra sauce.
Where were we were at the beginning. We were talking about the Ferengi. Now he's playing beats.
You guys get sound systems and you went crazy?
How do you this is a new development.
This is definitely the episode that people need to skip.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Well, I'm with you on one thing, Jaemeel. There isn't really a lot to talk about with this episode.
Come on, we got Plagueis.
Not a lot happens.
At least in the other episodes I didn't like that were kind of mediocre, there was like stuff happening. Like, okay, I can understand why people like this episode, right? You get characters that if you do find them in interesting situations, you get a lot of those interesting situations, those conversations, the back and forth, right? The character development. But it's so grating, that voice. And I just don't care. I like Odo. I like hearing about Odo's past, but it being presented in this episode, I literally just didn't care. And then the finale with just like I was like, no, I'm done with this episode. I'm done. Right?
Right.
Well, I just like Odo acting like a teenager who doesn't want his dad around his friends.
Yeah.
Like,
Takes 5 hours to come all the way from Bajor. You could call, Well, speaking of Kevin, the scene with Cisco and Jake, we talk about Klingon opera or studying for Klingon opera, and when the hell am I ever going to need Klingon opera? And he's like, well, when was the last time you thought about it? He's like, when I was your age and I had to take it. And this is like an old, why do I have to study this subject in school adage? Right. So I guess first question, did you like the scene?
I did, because it turns out Cisco's full of shit. And Jake is right.
Yeah, Jake sussed it out in like literally 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Cisco, this whole episode, I feel like he might as well be sleepwalking through the episode. He's like, the whole episode, it's like Odo's like, I need to go here. He's like, really? Okay. And it's like, there's a thing on the station. And he's like, here, I deal with it. He's like, okay.
But yeah, sleepwalk through the first 2 seasons.
I know.
Cisco?
But
did Cisco hesitate? He did not hesitate to call a lockdown on the promenade. He was locking down that whole thing.
So you're saying he's just better than Ford then?
Yeah, and then he was gonna he ordered to kill Odo if necessary, and then Kira was like, Cisco, and she was like, we just got to do it, and Kira was like, all right.
I saw a little bit of the hawk come out.
Yeah,
I do kind of like him, but whatever. I guess we'll.
Yeah.
Okay. You gotta go. Better him than us.
It is the orders. You're right. And if he's gonna kill us all,
you did say it twice, so that's it.
Yeah. You said never make me say it twice.
Yeah. We'll give him a couple stun warning shots, and then we're coming in for the kill.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and this whole episode, just the fact that it's set up with the fact that Dr. Moore shows up and that they found this thing when they were scanning the Gamma Quadrant, and it looked kind of like Odo's DNA, and they agree that this is kind of a relation to Odo's DNA. So isn't the revelation that Odo is from the Gamma Quadrant pretty much, or that seems to be very much the indication? Isn't that a big progression here? Isn't that a huge deal?
That's a pretty big leap. It just means that there might be elements, or his race might have passed through the.
No, I suppose yes. It's
but,
not a
like,
conclusion,
like-
but it's
That's like you found like a human fossil there, and you're like, well, humans must have come from the the Gamma Quadrant. It's like, well, we're speculating.
we're speculating. It's conjecture, but I think there's strong evidence to point, or there's good reason to at least investigate the fact that he's from there, considering nobody's seen his species before. So
Fair
it's
enough.
more likely to be from there than from the Alpha Quadrant, where nobody knows who he is. He's Odo, unknown sample.
I mean, he wasn't going to be from the Delta Quadrant. So yeah, they were going to do the Gamma. The Beta's right there, and Alpha's right there.
Yeah, he's not from the Beta Quadrant.
Beta.
No, he's okay. But the runabout ride out there to the Gamma Quadrant with Dax, where Dax, who's not close with Odo, and to your
She
point,
couldn't
was,
get in there.
yeah, she's like, I'd like to know Odo, but he doesn't want to be my friend too much, and like Bashir wants to be my friend too much.
Yeah. Dax just can't get what she wants.
She's like, Odo, can you do whiskers?
Can you do transparent skulls?
Yes.
That's kind of my thing. Yeah, just this whole ride. I think I like these moments. You don't like that voice, Jaemeel, so I don't like. I think it's not gonna. I'm not gonna win you over. But the fact that we touched on the earthquakes, the fact that they all four of them go down there, nobody stays on the runabout. I think this is irresponsible.
It is.
Away
Absolutely.
team protocol. I think somebody stays on the ship. You shouldn't just count on the computer to beam you up. The computer took a minute too. Why was the computer busy? Well, like while it was
Everybody
partying
was
up in the roundabout.
having some, alone time.
it was busy beaming. It beamed up the rock, no problem, and then it took like a few minutes, like for
It's
them
like,
to
I
kill it.
guess I'll get them too.
It was just like, well, I've got the rock. What do I need them for?
You think it was like
If we
AI?
had gotten 7 seasons of the TV show we watched tonight, it would not have been a good show.
No.
Yeah.
no, and that I think that's a thing about a lot of these Star Trek shows. I think that, original series not excluded from this sort of premise, but most of these shows took about 3 seasons to even get going in any kind of have any kind of steam, at least, and having real compelling. It was just kind of establishing characters and backstories, and I feel like this is just another one. But
Well,
as we're doing this rewatch,
think-
it's like, ugh.
I think Next Gen hit the ground running pretty good. I think that first season is good. I know you guys don't think so.
Code of Honor.
The first season of Next Gen is better than the second season.
Yeah, the
Well, that's
second
because Pulaski.
Well,
brutal.
it's hard to
not
speak
just
to that, but
Pulaski, though. There's some terrible episodes in the second season. The writing wasn't fantastic.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
yeah, okay. So I'd say the second season has more like high moments, but the first season maybe is better average. And I think that's maybe true with this second season. I don't know. We're only halfway through it now. It's been mostly downers. I think there's been some good moments, but this was, I don't know. We'll see where this kind of falls in the
Like
ratings.
narrative wise, I could understand what they're doing, and they are doing world building, even though some of the episodes where the world building exists is just awful, right?
Mhm.
You can at least you can take the hit and say, at least I have a better sense of what this world I'm watching, right? So yes, season 2 not so good. Episode 1 season 1 did have some good episodes, but the world building in 2 has been better than 1, I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. The other
The
thing
world
here was
building is slow. It makes a lot of these episodes kind of slow.
It's as slow as the opening title sequence.
Stop it. Stop it. I'm pointing at you. That's where you are on the screen to me.
I'm actually
Stop it.
I'm actually down here. You're up there.
Well, stop it. Okay.
What do you mean? I like it. I like how long the title sequence is. I'm just saying that's how long it's taking. That wormhole don't open until season 7. I mean, that's where Ashley just finished.
Yeah, but then speaking of world building, like there's this whole scene after they get back where they, the gas and whatever, and Dax is the least affected, other than Odo, who was the least affected because he doesn't have a respiratory system. But we'll find out that I guess he was the most affected because he turns into a monster. But for the time, initially, superficially, he seems to be fine. And so there's this whole moment where Sisko's talking to Odo. Oh man, your surrogate dad is like hurt. I'm sure that sucks for you, right? And Odo's like, listen, motherfucker, this guy's not my dad, all right? I don't know why but I guess you feel like this is your job, so to talk to me about it, so I'm going to be nice about it as best I can. And Sisko talks about how his dad was down and out and sick and couldn't help himself. Was he? It almost felt like he said his dad was dead, but we know his dad's not dead. Like, didn't that just strike as odd, or is they just didn't know yet if they were going to have Sisko's dad be part of the show, and this was just kind of written in to suit this particular story.
Dave, is it canon?
It's canon that Sisko's dad got sick and he was nearly dead, I guess. I don't know, but he clearly lived.
But it's canon that Sisko would also lie too.
Sisko does in the first episode with his dad does get on him about his health and about taking his medication.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah,
it lines up.
does.
But to Jameel's point, Sisko will lie, and maybe this is just made up.
Yes,
True.
Especially to get what he wants, especially with Jake.
Yeah, I'm making Jake listen to the Klingon opera, and Dr. Morpel, he electrocuted you with things in a lab and made you turn into a beaker or whatever.
Look, Jake, you can fuck Dalbo girls. You just got to learn some Klingon opera.
Yeah, so you gotta learn not to wear these onesies with the weird patterns built on top of them, Jake.
He pulled a dabble girl with it, man. So he's working it somehow.
The fact that Dax wasn't as affected by the gas because they say so, I guess the Trill are less affected by poison. I guess that's part of Star Trek. But also that she had to get out in a hospital gown that didn't close in the back is her comment. And my question about this is, why was she forced to wear a hospital gown that didn't close in the back when we see Dr. Mora and the other scientist, they're just wearing these kind of what Jake wears, these kind of onesie kind of weird things. So why was she made to wear a different hospital attire?
Bashir wanted to get her naked, and that was the whole ploy.
But this is why I was so excited that Ashley's seen the show now, that she's got to the finale, because she knows that Ezri Dax ends up with Julian. Does that make this all better?
But we also
makes
know,
nothing better.
Not at this point, but we also know later that she says, Ezri says that Jadzia felt that if it wasn't Worf, it would have been Bashir.
Which is bullshit. That was bullshit.
Yeah.
No.
But that's what Ezri says.
If it wasn't, Ezri's
lied. Ezri was just she wanted some, so she said that shit. She's lying because there is no way Bashir was second on the list.
Quark was ahead of Bashir on that list.
Morn was ahead.
Morn was ahead of a lot of these
everybody
people.
on the station was ahead.
No.
Cisco was ahead on the list.
Just Jake's getting older.
Cisco was number one
Jake's
until
getting older.
Even Jake Cisco.
He's learned the Klingon operas.
Yeah.
Much better than Julian. Julian wants to go gallivant, playing spy with Miles. I mean, that's not life for Dax.
Wait, is there Ashley, you might remember this more. Is there a sequence where Jake and Worf are in a situation where they're having a conversation about Klingon opera?
No,
I don't think so. No,
that would have been a great callback. It's damn it.
Yeah, I think Worf only talked to Jadzia about Klingon operas.
He did like Klingon opera.
That'd have been a great
Sometimes he
callback.
talked to Quark
because she never put them back or whatever. She borrowed them and never brought them back.
She had a tendency to lose things.
Oh yeah, she lost them.
Oh, I lost her Klingon operas, but she probably didn't. She just did this to annoy him. So whoever she liked annoying is who she wanted to be.
Klingon opera can be lost in the future. I can't lose one now. They're online there, but they're not in the computers.
And why is Dax's hair so high? Like she looks like she's like the Bride of Frankenstein sometimes.
I don't know. They wanted to put girls in buns for some reason back then.
Yeah.
They did it to Janeway
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Janeway do.
Weird 90s big hair.
Yeah, it's just
I
the
don't
way.
even
It's just
think
a product of
the
the time.
90s. I think it's that was like it was like shoulder pads
Yeah.
for the 90s. It was like power. It was to
Yeah, big hair.
big hair, or the bun was like business
Yeah.
seriousness.
Okay, I want to keep track of when Jake Sisko eventually gets out of the pajama onesies. When does he graduate out of those?
I think like season 4.
Is it that long?
It's pretty long. Yeah,
That's so
It's,
long.
isn't it when he starts becoming a writer?
I think so.
And then he switches to the baggy like silk shirt and the vest.
The metallic
with the bag,
Yeah.
the satchel
I
that he
like
carries.
I like
Yeah.
to imagine that Sirach Lofton came in one day and just went, "I'm not fucking wearing that anymore."
Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. Now I'm 20 and it's inappropriate. Yeah.
Why do I have to dress like a 5-year-old for the rest of my life? I
I'm a
don't
grown ass
understand.
man. Like
Yeah, Nog's not wearing this shit.
Yeah. It's a sparkly uniform.
Maybe you could dress Alexander in this shit, but not me.
I got a Jabo girl when I was 16, and I got to wear this shit.
They never really knew how to dress civilians in general. We've talked about this. but
No, yeah,
it's-
that's
Yeah,
terrible.
no, it's awful.
yeah.
My uncle plays for the Atlanta Braves. He's in the World Series right now. I ain't wearing this shit anymore.
Because they're always trying to answer this question. Well, if this is what pseudo-military type people or astronaut types wear, then what would normal people wear in comparison? And then they come up with these interesting get-ups.
Yeah.
For the
Apparently, in the future, we just want to see everyone's junk.
Yeah. Everyone wears pajamas.
And with women as tight as possible, spandex. Put them in corsets. We don't care. Like whatever it takes.
well, if it's like the '60s era,
They just wear dresses more.
like in the original series era, it's definitely like weird '60s go-go, a lot of midriffs, different things. It's kind of charming, I think.
Short skirts. In the 90s, they were like black pantsuit, everybody.
Shoulder pads and
pads
buns.
and
Yeah,
buns.
Yeah,
shoulder pads
big
and buns.
hair, like Dax's hair, and like that hairspray, and then a font thing.
Yes.
And now we're just like, we got no more ideas. We're like blue with like gold and bronze and silver. I don't know. That show doesn't exist. I'm sorry, Kevin.
that's
Which
next
one?
Oh,
season of Picard.
those
Oh, I don't even
ones
want to
suck, too.
think about there being another season.
I've got another question about this episode.
Okay.
What were the scientists wrong to remove that life form from the planet because it did die because it couldn't survive without enough carbon dioxide? Correct.
Yes.
But they established, Dave, that planet doesn't matter. The only thing that mattered was Odo and where he came from. Consequences be damned. This episode was about finding out where Odo came from.
That's true.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Were they wrong? It died because they removed it, right?
No, it didn't break out of the thing on its own.
Odo broke it out, didn't he?
Yeah, must have.
Yeah,
Well,
he's the
they
one who
were
turned the
so
cameras off.
wrong. If it's a real life form and that's where it lives, they probably shouldn't have taken it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they never discuss it. They're never like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. More polls like, it gave us so much information to know more about you, Odo, and our research. We must
Dr.
do more
Mora here.
research.
Once they finally figure out that it is Odo, and Dr. Mora goes to Odo first, even though he's been working with Dax on figuring it out, and he sees it first. He's like, "Yeah, man, they're gonna put you in a zoo, Odo, and they're going to take it all away from
They're
you."
gonna turn on you, Odo. They're gonna turn on you.
Right? Where is it?
Yeah.
And then he turns into the goo man.
Gosh.
Right?
That must have been so
Odo.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. That is.
Could you imagine having that on your face?
I think they just told Renee to like, okay, we're gonna put like a hair dryer all over your makeup for 5 minutes, and this is
That
what
would
you'll
burn.
come
That
out.
would seriously burn you.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so disgusting. It looks like paint. It looks like they literally painted his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but since he's a liquid man, not a gelatinous man. All right.
He's a honeycomb bum.
Very gooey.
He's a very good. There's him in goo form next to a force field.
And
think-
Morapole, he's so like melodramatic. He's like, "What have I done?" Oh,
Probably saved a bunch of people. That's what you've done.
yeah. Oh, I was like, "You didn't die. I think you did good, and you stopped it."
Is Dr. Mora an ethical scientist?
No,
Is Odo lucky that he ended up with Dr. Mora instead of a Cardassian scientist?
no difference.
Well, I would think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
In this case, yes.
Okay. Hey, Cardassians
Mora-
aren't all bad,
Mora does care about him.
Yeah.
Like,
right? But you don't think there could have been a Cardassian that could have cared about him? I think there could have been.
probably not.
Well, yeah, you're probably right about that.
Cardis? You mean those Cardis? Oh wait, I'm picking up O'Brien's racism. I gotta be more careful.
Blasted Cardis.
If it was a Cardassian, it would have just been like Dr. Death and would have done all these terrible experiments on him and like chained him up. And
It would have been like
tortured
that guy from Voyager, that evil scientist that
Yes,
that
yes.
deleted his research or whatever.
him. Right. And then, yeah, the doctor's like, well, I'm going to use your information to save this person. Then we're getting rid of you.
Yeah, then we're deleting you. Just this once.
Okay, there are literally like no fun facts, guys. Like there's like six.
Fitting.
'Cause
Well,
it
I have a
wasn't-
question. I have a question before we get to fun facts.
Okay.
When the monster comes out, because first of all, first question actually,
Hmm.
they use Dr. Moore volunteers to be bait, and Cisco's fully on board with this plan, right? Even though he says he's going to shoot to kill on Odo, so I guess he's kind of hedging
Yeah.
his bets, so he
Two
doesn't.
Two birds.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, I guess my first is Cisco less heroic because of this?
Is Cisco okay? No.
Okay.
I just think he's literally sleepwalking through the episode. Also, like the whole thing where Morapel, finds out he's like it was 16 hours in between these attacks, and guess what? You regenerate for 16 hours, and it's just like, nobody else was able to figure that out. He was, I guess, it is kind of like he's the Odo guy or whatever.
Odo
doctor.
had to catch himself.
Did you not know he went to what? What the hell? Oh, sorry.
Hmm?
I got a master screen pop up. Did you not know he went to Bajor U? So
Yeah.
that is no like
BJU.
yeah
Yeah.
some cheap doctorate he has there. There's some high level learning in Bajor.
I just
Next
think he was like a mad scientist guy and just didn't really. I don't think he was like especially brilliant or anything. He was just like
He's
the
just
guy who
lucky that Odo kind of fell
Yeah.
into his lap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Here's my next question. In this whole thing, when Odo comes out, right, and it's this moment here where, or right before he gets knocked down, right, at the force field, he says, "My God." My question is it odd that a Bajoran would say, "My God," on the steps of the Celestial Temple, no less? Or is it plausible that Dr. Mora, as a non-earring wearing Bajoran, is of a different religion than the majority of the Bajorans?
His god is science. I believe the latter.
Yeah.
His God
think
is
it's a
science.
scientist.
You think he's an atheist Bajoran, perhaps, or a non-religious, secular?
Agnostic.
He does never say anything about the prophets or religion whatsoever.
And he
Yeah.
doesn't wear the earring. He doesn't wear the
Or-
earring, which I believe is a
Yeah.
religious thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's safe to say he's like a
I think he's
representation of
agnostic.
or he just believes in Odo. Odo's his god.
Odo's his God. That's why he's joining the Dominion.
Does he join the Dominion this guy?
No, but
No.
it wouldn't have been a great. Just so he could get closer to more
I
changelings.
don't remember.
just so he can get closer to more changelings.
He loves changelings. Changelings
Yeah.
are his favorite.
Do electricity through the entire Great Link instead of
He's
just
like-
one little puddle of goo.
he's a changeling like ophile, like he's inside of a pedophile, like
He's a changeophile.
he's a changeophile.
He has like
Yeah.
a bowl of liquid, and he just like starts
A
putting his finger
morphophile.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
That's where this episode led us. So
All right. Do you got your fun
On
facts?
that note, I think it is time for fun facts.
Yeah.
time for the gooey facts.
Hey,
Fun facts with Jeff.
Okay. Just 1 second.
Fun facts with Jeff.
Okay, so Maura Paul was looking to be played by Rene Auberjonois himself. Much
You
as
can't do this for everything. We will die. Helium man.
It's really good for the laughing. The laughing cracks me up.
Okay. Okay. So much as Data's creator Noonien Sung was played by Brent Spiner, and as the Doctor's creator Louis Zimmerman would later be played by Robert Picardo, but this plan was scrapped when it realized how much time it would take each day to get Auberjonois out of one makeup and into another. Most DS9 episodes were shot in 7 days, but it was estimated that with Auberjonois playing both parts, it would take at least 14 days to complete the shoot.
I think it would have sucked too.
Yeah, I think it's better because he's not really his father. He's just a scientist who found him.
Yeah, but Odo, they did try to make them sort of alike.
Yeah, I
in a
guess.
way,
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
hair, I guess, is the most obvious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, special effects supervisor Glenn Neufeld wasn't especially pleased with how this episode turned out, primarily due to the fact that he feels the audience sees too much of the monster.
What?
You don't really see that much of it.
No.
Yeah,
No.
well, he felt too much. It should have been more like Lost.
Smoke monster?
Smoke monster. All right. The appearance of Dr. Mora reflects Odo's claim made in Star Trek 269, The Forsaken, when he told Waxana Troy that he modeled his hairstyle after the scientist assigned to him, which I just mentioned. There you go.
They fulfilled that.
James Sloyan made his first of 2 appearances as Dr. Mora Paul. He comes back.
Second
Well-
time's better.
Second time's better.
Yeah.
Does he die the second time? Probably does.
Nope.
No.
No.
But they go through some turmoil and then they make up and everything's good.
They build on this episode, which I think so. I think just because that episode is a pretty good one, I think this episode is sort of worth its place in the the list.
That episode wouldn't have been as good if we hadn't been introduced to him in this episode.
Right. Okay, well, there you go. This episode establishes that normal travel time between Bajor and DS9 is 5 hours. However, in DS9, Star Trek DS9, the storyteller, Bashir states that the journey from the station to Bajor takes 2 hours. That's not necessarily a goof. The first travel time is just as fast, but comfortable speed, which allows the pilots to get to destination, being able to prepare all weapons and devices and to brief together. The second one means to push the runabout or other small ships to its max unless going warp, a risky and highly fuel spending maneuver. Of course, a simpler explanation would be the fact that the planets tend to move as they rotate around their sun.
So at certain times of the year,
It's
the station would be closer to Bajor, and other times it would not be.
It'd take 2 hours, 4 or 5 hours.
Sometimes it would be on different sides of the system. I don't understand though why you can't leave the solar system, go to warp, and then get
You
to
can.
the other.
You can, but they consider it highly dangerous.
Okay, is there a way to do it that's not dangerous?
Yeah, you could write it that way. It's a TV show.
It
No.
seems crazy to me. It takes 5 hours to get somewhere within a solar system when they have ships that go 9 times the speed of light.
Okay. I mean, yes, but star systems, you don't want to crash into meteors and stuff and go and warp.
Get deflector dishes for that.
Oh, okay.
I play a dangerous game, Dave.
Yeah,
Dangerous
fine.
game.
Dangerous game. It's not canon. This is the last Star Trek episode to be directed by David Carson. He went on to direct Star Trek Generations.
His name is David Carson.
His name was David Carson.
Which also was a movie that was underwhelming, but story building. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Like
true.
you wouldn't throw it away, but you wouldn't necessarily say this is the best thing ever.
yeah.
It's better than this episode.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Why is it called the alternate though? I don't understand that.
No, me either.
They had an original title, and they're like, "Okay, put in the alternate."
The alternate-
I don't.
The fucking intern just fucked up.
It is what it is.
Yeah, like they never had a real name for this episode. It seems that Dr. Mora was correct when he identified the monolith as a relic of Odo's people, as an almost identical monolith can be seen on the Founder's planet in Star Trek DS9: The Search Part 2, which would come like a year later.
So they should have moved that one and just hit it like the beam in Truth or Date on Mallrats. Knock the whole thing down.
Yeah.
So did Odo have like a changeling flu?
Maybe. He might have had COVID.
He had changeling COVID?
Yeah.
He had changeling COVID.
You turn into a monster trying to kill your space dad.
That's what happens when you get changeling COVID. Everybody knows that.
He starts
Okay.
being childish and wants to kill his parents.
Yeah, wants to kill his dad, and that's what the Menendez brothers got.
Mhm.
Okay.
The COVID flu. Okay.
The idea for this episode came to Jim Trombetta when he realized that if a shapeshifter was suffering from multiple personality disorder, not only would he go around exhibiting different personalities, but different bodies.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Or different forms in general. What if one of your personalities was just like a book?
Look.
Okay, so finally, although we already discussed this, but it gives some a little bit of clarity. Even though it is not explicitly stated, Sisko definitely alludes to his father's death by saying when his father got ill was the toughest part for watching him, knowing there was nothing he could do. This was a recurring theme during the first 3 seasons until the decision was made to cast Sisko's father with Star Trek veteran Brock Peters in the 4th season. So yeah. They were like, don't ever say expressly he's dead, but allude to it, I guess, is what they were doing for the first 3 seasons.
And I guess that's why in that first episode they're like, he's like, "Dad, you've got to take your medication," and what are the doctors saying? And yeah, really concerned about his health.
Right. Well, okay, and that's it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jeff, for those fun facts. And we're going to get into some ratings here. Let's pull out this up.
You're most welcome, Dave.
Ratings. Okay. I want to start with Jaemeel because I want to know how low he's setting the bar.
3.5.
3.5, which is what you gave last week's episode, Rivals. So you dislike this equally.
Ooh. My gosh.
Ashley and Kevin.
I give it a 6.5.
6.5. Kevin?
I will go 4.
And Jeff?
6.
I'm gonna go. This was I think a 6, yeah, something like that. Oh, there we go. That averages it out between the 5 of us at a 5.2. And what's this called? The alternate. This has a 6.8 on IMDb somehow. So the cumulative average between those is a 6. So this is about a 6 out of 10. It's kind of, it's still below average, but it's not terrible. It's fine. And the next episode is going to be called Armageddon Game. So get ready for that.
Don't want to miss a thing.
Baby, when I think of you.
Oh my god.
Oh, what do we sing? Because I miss you, baby, and I don't want to miss you, baby. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, keep going. Wait, who was doing things?
You were just now.
Yes.
Okay, this is a professional podcast here on Live Long.
It's not professional. It never was.
You're gonna get a strike. You're gonna get an audio strike. I was too
Oh,
close.
for-
to Steven
We
Tyler.
look professional, and that's what counts.
We
Too
look at it.
close.
As long as we look at it, it's 99% that. What's next?
What's the next? Well, I don't know. What is
That's what I
next?
was asking.
Let me see.
Armageddon game or Armageddon.
Armageddon game is next.
Yeah, that's why we don't want to miss a thing.
what?
It's a game,
oh,
though.
because of the movie Armageddon. I get it.
This
What's
came up
next?
before Armageddon.
The end of the show is next.
3 years. yeah. For all of us here at Deep Space Nine and Nine-ish, thank you for joining us here on Live Long and Podcast. We'll catch you cool cats and kittens on the other side next week when we break down Armageddon game. And don't forget, we have Star Trek Radio Theater coming up this week. When are we doing it, Dave?
We're doing it on Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Okay.
this week. Here, you want to look, Jeff?
I'm
You're
gonna
in
be
it. You're in
playing.
it.
I'm playing Bones.
Your
Saturday
bones?
night.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Scotty. I still don't have my Scottish accent ready to go. So yeah.
Scotty doesn't know a Scottish accent.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't
Scotty-
know.
Scotty doesn't know.
Don't tell Scotty. Don't.
Zip it.
So check that out Saturday night. Also, check out Wednesday nights. We're doing Star Trek Original Series. We're going to be doing The Trouble with Tribbles tomorrow night. We're talking about that episode with Adam Woodward, Dad, Jody, and we're going to show Jody the soundboard. Woohoo!
5 minutes. 5 minutes until
5 minutes in.
he just snaps.
He
Yeah,
snaps.
he'll
and
snap
it's-
in 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. he'll go.
He'll give you,
Especially if
he'll
we're
give you
both
5
doing
minutes.
it to him, he'll
He'll give you 5 minutes.
yeah. And then Thursday, Star Trek Discovery.
Talking about a show that after 2 seasons vastly improved.
Yes, well, that was kind of my point earlier. Is like, while season 2 of this show is a little, but it builds to better things, like this episode did. So and you're getting a little bit of that payoff now. So check out the sixth episode that we're doing for this third season on Thursday, and then of course Saturday, Star Trek Radio Theater. All right, well, take us away, Jeff.
Okay, that's it. We'll see you next week for D6 9 to 9ish. I'm Jeff Vader with co-hosts Dave Vader, Jaemeel Robinson, Kevin, and Ashley Millard. We'll see you next week.